The
You
Shane
don't.
Eaton Show.
Yeah, we're gonna rename it the Shane Eaton Show.
Shane Eaton Show.
There's a movie called Leave the World Behind.
If he's supposed to be lit, because I mean the way that they made him look and act and sound for
Right.
the most part,
Rubber.
act, except for when I bring what I'm about to bring up, is MAGA guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
MAGA guys aren't walking around going, "Well, a lot of people hate us." You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like none of it added up in the sense that, you know, they painted it as all of these people are so different. Well, they're really not. They were all kind of working together.
And they lived in the same part of New York
Right.
State.
They
That's
lived in
like-
the same area. They all kind of had the same life. And then when shit hit the fan, yeah, things got tough for a scene. And then they ended up being like, okay, what needs to be done?
See, you said something earlier
That's a valid point.
about how at the end they all came together, so you can't say it's about division.
Right.
At the end, I think, because at the end of the movie, you see the two women are together, and then the two men and the son are together, right? And then the daughter, the younger daughter, is in the bunker.
Yeah.
I think that's just more of a both the women and both the men and the son realizing, oh, we're fucked either way. I don't think that's
Yeah.
oh well, we're in this
Yeah.
together now. I think
Yeah.
that's them accepting,
But-
nope, this is the end.
But
Yeah,
they
like,
and
literally
the daughter is safe.
Well, hold
Yeah.
on, because they literally said we're in this together. When they were sitting there in the car,
And what's the last shot you see after that is the city burning.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't cut back to the car after that.
well, that's because it was a shitty ending to the movie. There was nothing.
I just think it's
explained.
them accepting that this is the
No,
end.
Yeah.
see, I didn't take it as that. I took it as, okay, so now they're gonna be
I like
fine.
that.
They're
I
gonna
like
go
that.
to the bunker.
I like different interpretations.
Yeah,
I like different
mine was-
interpretations. I like why I like that ending because they let it because of shit like this. If
Right.
they would have told you what
Like-
the ending was and we saw a specific ending, we wouldn't be having this kind of conversation. But because they ended it where they did on that weird ass ending, now Jordan can have the opinion. And I agree with you. I think of like that ending shows that they're all alone, and it doesn't necessarily matter if the dad made it home in time or the daughter made it home in that hour span, because they're fucked.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They might go back to the house and meet up, or they might even go to the bunker. Maybe Rosie didn't close the door and but they're fucked.
Because at that point, the two men and the son have the information from Kevin Bacon's character. They've pieced together what's going on.
Right.
And at that point,
Or at least what they believe
Right.
could be going on. And that's the other crazy part too, is like, you don't really know.
Yeah, and at that point, GH, I think, realizes, well, this is the end, and we're going to have to try and survive. I think that's where
Right.
that monologue came
Probably
from.
just head to the bunker and then
to
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
As they're ready to fuck anything up to try and stay alive. I think that's that.
Right.
On the flip side, obviously, the women don't hear that spiel. They don't put that correlation together. They have to physically see the city burning
Yeah.
and go, oh, no, this is over.
We're
We're not,
fucked,
yeah, this
yeah.
isn't the start. We're in the end of this
Right.
thing. And I think it is universally a thing of, okay, well, this is the end, and we're
Well,
gonna
that's what
die
I'm saying.
eventually.
I think those I think the way that New York, I think that is the start. I think that's the
That's
start.
what I was just gonna say.
I think that's just the start. I think it gets way worse.
I
than
mean,
that.
I
They-
meant the end in terms of them staying in that house and thinking this is gonna pass.
oh
that's
yeah,
what I mean.
yeah.
No, I mean they talked about how it was a start throughout the entire movie. This is new. It was
Right.
the same bullshit we heard during
Right.
COVID, new
Right.
normal, and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. I think.
Which makes sense that it was written in 2020 because he would have been hearing that
That's
over
fair.
and over and over again. So that makes sense that it would be in the script.
I think that either this is a lot of predictive programming or this is just a really good movie, really good script, like really thought provoking movie.
I will say we got to a part in the movie, I think it's during that monologue where they're figuring out what happened,
Mhm.
and Jake audibly said, "This is just what's happening now. This is just
Yeah.
now."
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's interesting that to bring up the point that it was written in 2020 though, and within that 3-year, almost 4-year span, that is what happened.
But it was going on like 2019, 2020.
Not to the same extent.
Oh, dude, that's when the George Floyd stuff happened was 2020.
Well, and do you guys know about the? I don't know if I brought this up on the Monday show or anything, but the Civil War II movie that's coming out, the A24 Civil War II movie that's coming out.
Mm-mm.
There's a movie called Civil War II coming out by A24. They normally do like weird artsy movies. That's their shtick. But they're doing like a big budget war movie, and it's about like a second Civil War, and people are preaching predictive programming too, like they were with this movie.
I
I'll
also
show you the trailer. But it's definitely feels a lot like the movie that we just watched.
I think it's weird. And again, this could be just weird timing. I think it's odd that this movie starts getting traction, right? And within the day or 2 days after the news story broke about Mark Zuckerberg having his underground mega bunker that he bought at half an island on Hawaii.
Yeah.
And is financed through multiple shell corporations. And
Well, I think
it's
there's
15 however miles wide tunnels connecting bunkers and shit like that. And then you came in earlier and said that there's other people now that it's being exposed that, oh no, they're actively building bunkers now. I'm not saying it's a new thing. I'm just saying it's interesting timing that this movie comes out and then all of a sudden Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk are building bunkers as
But
well.
to be fair, the same thing happened after 2012 came out. Because if you remember, the whole thing about that was that they were all going to go to their bunker. They all got on the plane. Then they all went to the ship that was taking them to the bunker.
Yeah, but that movie was way bigger than this one, I think. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
that was just
Also,
like
But-
everywhere on the
2012
news.
was a theory in and of itself, not just
Yeah.
a movie.
Right, but also you have to remember the reason why it was such a big movie is because Netflix really wasn't relevant. So that's the way that movies were released,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, if that was released on Netflix, it'd be having the same reaction that this is.
I don't know, man.
It was released when 2012 was going to happen. So,
I don't
like,
know.
that's the reason why it made the money and it had people watching it the way that they were.
I agree with that.
You
It's-
know,
I think it was topical.
right? And that's I mean, this you hear about the Obamas. Plus, I mean, the day after it came out, I turn on TAM and Bill Wills is talking about it, and he's got somebody on talking about the movie. So it was pushed like 2012 was. So people are going to watch this like crazy. Plus, it's getting pushed every time you go on Netflix. You're seeing it,
I can understand if it's a really big market.
this
and
just come
podcasts
out?
are talking about it.
This movie just came out like
I think it came
Couple
out
weeks ago, right?
semi
Okay.
recently.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not,
Like
I'm not
within-
positive on the
within the
date,
last
but
month.
yeah, I'm not positive on the date, but semi recently.
And hold on, no, it came out Thanksgiving weekend,
Oh,
didn't
did
it?
it? I have no idea.
I have genuinely.
I
no
think
idea.
it did because I want to say it was that following Monday. It was because I was on my way to the airport. It was that following Monday
It's,
when everybody got back to work. So everybody was sitting at home. It popped up on their Netflix over the weekend and they watched it.
What do you make of the animals?
I think that's a.
I think that's the most confusing part of the movie to me.
I feel like that's explained in the book.
November 22nd, 2023 is when it came out. I bet it is explained in the book. I think it has something to do with animals are more tapped in with nature and what's going on in the world. Think about like how a cat knows when it's gonna like rain or thunderstorm. And
Yeah, they
like,
talked about the dogs being aware of storm before it happened, but like,
Yeah, I think that is kind of what they're going. If I had to make
Right.
an assumption, that's what I feel like they're going for. Is like the deer are trying to like notify, like, yo,
Or do you
I
think
get the
they-
fuck out?
or do you think the deer saw that like a bunch of other people killing each other, so they're like they
We
go
should
up to the
rise
two
up
people that
and-
aren't killing each other and they're like,
You said
oh
we should
shit,
rise up.
this is new, or I don't know, this is different, and they just stare at them.
If anything, if I had to go for a second theory, I would say that they're like the deer are trying to like rise up and kill humans.
Well, they said that there was like animal migratory patterns that were different because of
The
like
radiation.
some radiation thing that happened.
Well, did you see like the
I
shot of all the
guess.
birds going?
I guess that makes
And the
sense, right?
flamingos
If
and
the
everything.
city's super irradiated, the deer are going to be where there's less radiation.
Well, and remember the stuff
There's
with
a lot of city deer too.
when 5G was starting to come out and all that stuff was about the birds and how they were going fucking nuts, running
Dude.
like flying into buildings and stuff.
Birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real.
So
it doesn't matter.
that would explain like yeah. But to me, like I said when we were watching the movie, like if animals are still hanging out, I know I'm good.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like
That's it.
I understand that was probably their thought process. What Shane said of like, oh, animals have an instinct when something's
Right,
wrong, and they
right,
might have been trying to
right.
warn us, right? I get that's probably what the representation was, but I think all of us watching the movie sat there and went, why the fuck would they still be here?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they need to be
Domesticated
hightailing it.
animals warn you. Wild
Right.
animals don't. Wild animals run when they sense danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Domesticated animals don't know how to run or where to run to, so
Right.
they run to their owners.
Which I guess, to be fair, you could probably make the argument that they did run, and because they were in a more remote location, that is where the animals ended up gathering or running
Okay.
to from
Right.
the major areas. I guess that argument could be made. It just seemed like a weird thing to put in there too. I don't think they had a good answer for animal life in the situation,
Yeah.
and that's how they shoehorned it.
What was with the Mexican woman, dude?
Also
what was
interesting.
that?
yeah, that was that.
She
felt
was basically
forced.
just freaking out, just saying like, it was $1,000. My son I have no money. Please help
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I think
it
you think that was
strange.
just to add tension, just kind of like confuse
Yeah.
you more.
Yeah.
I
probably
think
just
that
to-
was their attempt to make Ethan Hawke's character seem more like a bad person than he was.
Yeah,
I will say
make him
this.
more human, more
Yeah.
like he doesn't care. He's
During-
just trying to be safe. Yeah.
During the movie, I said this movie feels like The Happening. That movie is The Happening.
Yeah, that's very happening. Like that
Yeah.
whole kind of confusion.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
difference is they just didn't show the city with smoke. They showed bombs hitting.
Yeah.
Which was definitely a scary shot. And then like you heard the gunfire. I was like, oh man, that feels real. That
Well, that's
feels
just
like
New
a-
York City on the
Oh,
day.
well, no, I'm saying like
It's just
that's
New
how
York.
that's how New York would feel during like getting like a helicopter flyover of New
Yeah,
York
but at the
during,
same
like, a war
time,
zone.
and
That'd be
like
scary.
not to be an asshole because we've all made the jokes, but that shocks you. But we'll make jokes about 9/11.
Well, it was inside job.
No, you know what I mean though. Like,
Yeah, I guess it's
what?
like,
And according
It
to
doesn't-
this movie, the U.S. government was the one doing it.
and I guess
That doesn't shock me. It's just
yeah,
Right, but what I'm saying is we're already numb to it.
yeah, it's more so the fact that something
Bless you.
yeah,
Thanks.
bless you.
thanks.
Something like that specifically hasn't happened yet. Like that shot hasn't happened in real life yet. Whereas if they showed a shot of a plane flying into like two towers, it would be like borderline like, oh hot, like, oh, they're doing a 9/11. You know?
You didn't see the shots of 9/11 when the buildings were already down and the smoke was pluming through the air
no, I
and
mean
the other buildings were falling down.
no, I mean I saw those,
That-
but like it just definitely felt that scene felt different from the 9/11 scene in my opinion.
Well, like because
And granted,
because
I mean I
we've-
wasn't there, but like
because and it might be different for me because I remember watching it.
sure,
I remember watching
right,
9/11.
right.
So like I remember seeing something like that being real.
Right. That's what I'm
So-
saying. It's way more real for you, and so that definitely
Like
changes the perspective.
and I guess for me, like I see that and I'm like, okay, it's a movie. Like I understand that it's
Yeah,
something
well,
that
right.
could happen, but like the Pentagon, the World Trade Centers, you know, like we've seen that.
yeah,
It's strange to me, and this is just society that we live in now. We'll make jokes about 9/11. Like I said, I'm guilty of it too. I make the stupid jokes. Norm Macdonald, 9/11 is a national tragedy. I get it. Like I make the jokes, and I guess I could even
It
look
was
at
a beautiful
myself.
day though. apart from
That's true.
you know.
And I guess I could look at myself when I say this too. I just think it's kind of fucked up in our heads. We'll go, "Oh my god, that movie was so realistic," and then when the real thing that happened, we'll be like, "Ha ha ha ha!" Joke. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's because it's so realistic. I think it's because it's blatant. That is what it is.
I don't think. I also just to like double on what you're to extend further upon what you're saying. I don't think anybody watches 9/11 tape and like goofs on it.
Oh,
I think
dude.
that people.
Well,
I mean,
Hold on. Yeah. No.
I-
well is right.
I think
I just
that,
watched a Jay Schlatt stream for like 4 hours, and
Oh,
that was
God.
the most of the jokes
Like,
or 9/11
really
jokes.
No. 9/11 jokes, yeah, but is he like watching videos of it and like goofing on the play, but like doing like a
Okay,
play by play?
fair enough,
You know,
yeah.
because like I don't think that.
No, but the whitest kids you know did it on a cable television.
Yeah,
See
they
that,
did.
kids? You don't see any windows or a logo.
It's true.
Right.
But that wasn't them. First of all, they showed pictures because I know the exact bit you're talking about. I
Right.
play it frequently.
Okay.
They just show pictures that Trevor Moore is presenting on slides, and they're talking about 9/11 being an inside job. It's not. I understand what Shane's saying of you don't just show the fucking video of the plane hitting the tower and play a funny song on loop.
Yeah, it's not like
Should
they
we
don't-
go to TikTok or Instagram and look
Well,
at the memes
not
and
on
the
TikTok,
videos?
Chief.
I don't know if that's necessarily like I don't know if that, I mean, and yes, I think that there
Jordan
are,
and I have probably said some to each other. Like,
well, yeah, no,
let's be honest.
There are some like burnt ass memes. That's a
Right.
real thing that you can find. I'm not negating that. I'm
But
just saying I don't
the
think
footage itself by itself is not something that is just okay. That's funny.
beamed on. Yeah, it's like the jokes the jokes are in conversation. It's not we don't go to the footage to watch it and laugh.
You can take this scene from the Joker where he shoots Mari in the head, and that alone as a still scene, that 3 seconds can be funny just because of how it's presented.
You
right?
can put something in it to make it
not even that. No, just give me that. Just give
Yeah.
me
Out
3
of
seconds.
context.
Yep,
Yeah.
out of context.
right.
You give me just 9/11 planes hitting a tower out of context, and it's not funny.
Right.
I'll give you an
Right.
example.
But you give me a tower hitting 2 planes, and it's funny.
No, I'll give you an
Yeah,
example.
Yeah.
Shane Gillis
Yeah.
Love Shane Gillis.
Right.
Shout out
Everybody
Shane
does. He's
Gillis.
hilarious. Yeah, shout out to him. He always talks about that video where the college students are drinking apple juice and the woman starts screaming because she watches a plane fly into the fucking tower and the camera pans over and you see the building fall down.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they laugh the entire time. That's
Well, yeah.
real.
Yeah, that
That was
that's-
that was a woman watching it happen. Just like Ruth and the wife were watching it happen. But we laugh.
I think, I mean, if I am to play devil, I think you say, they didn't know what was going on. It literally just happened.
Ruth didn't know what was going on either.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. I guess I'm kind of lost in the point that you're arguing versus the point that I'm arguing.
I guess I just think it's weird that we'll sit there and watch that footage and go, "Oh, that's crazy that's happening." It happened in real life. We watched it.
I don't think anybody's. I mean, it's still crazy the second time. Like, it's still crazy to think that it could happen again.
But what I'm saying is like, and it can, and I understand that, but like, I just feel like it's really weird. Like on society, this movie had a bigger impact than rewatching 9/11 clips, and that kind of blows my mind.
I don't think that's true.
I disagree.
I don't think it had a big. It's what's hot right now.
Yeah,
but
it's
I don't
hot-
think
it's
what has a
trending.
bigger impact.
It's trending.
Our
and so it's-
president didn't even go to ground zero.
Our president
On
can't
9/11.
walk down the stairs.
No,
think-
no.
Yeah.
Bush.
No. What I'm saying is this year,
Oh yeah.
our president didn't even go to ground zero. So we can't. So on society as a whole,
But like, Biden's not making a leave the world behind review or anything like that. You know?
Listen.
he's just coming from the same administration that made this movie.
Also from that shot from
the
9/11.
administration didn't make the movie. The guy made a production company that made the movie.
Yeah, that shot compared to 9/11 either was a way more of like a more grandiose shot than I guess 9/11 would have been, because that was
Right.
the two towers as compared to in that one, its entirety of
It's
New York City.
It's literally the entire
Yeah.
island of New
It's-
York City, and I think that's the part that's more like jaw dropping to me. Is like, it's the entire city. Like, there was the one bomb that blew up, and then they show the second bomb blowing up, and then you hear like gunshots.
It was
and
a
to me,
huge mushroom cloud.
that
too.
feels very
Right, and
realistic.
I
of like
get
the
what-
whole city is going to be. It's not going to be one section of the city. It's going to be the entire island is burning and everyone's shooting each other. Like, that's terrifying to me.
What were you gonna say?
Attack on New York, dude. Shout
Yeah.
out 1980s movie.
I was actually thinking about that while that was happening. I don't think you can say that this is more impactful, and I'll tell you why real
Yeah.
quick. Because
And I'm not saying that it is.
you did. That's the thing. You said that it's crazy that this is more impactful than people seeing
I'm saying
9/11.
to society.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to disagree. And
Okay.
my point is here that, like Shane said, this is trending right now. This is hot right now. People are talking about it right now. And the reason I think that right now, if you walked up to some random guy on the street and were like, "Hey, have you seen Leave the World Behind?" and they go on this tirade about how great it is and how impactful it was for them, right? You can walk up to that same guy and open up a conversation about 9/11. They probably won't go into it, right? I think all that really is a testament to is the saying of, okay, well, time marches on, right? Time heals all wounds. And I'm not saying that 9/11 wasn't a tragedy. I'm not saying you don't rewatch the videos and you don't remember on the day, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we've at this point had almost 23 years. Almost 23 years have separated us from 9/11, right? And in that 23 years, we've had a whole section of the population. We found out last October that seems like a majority of the population think that there was foul play at foot there. And a large portion of that, again, not dismissing that it was a tragedy, but wanting to look further into the government aspect behind it, our government. This movie paints a picture from our government, and it does it in the future, a near future. I think that is the bigger impact. It's not, we don't have 23 years of separation from this event that happened that everyone seems to be on the page going forward.
It's
That
not like this movie takes place 23 years in the future.
Right.
This movie takes place in like 23 weeks.
It's this is happening now. Like you said during the movie, this is just what's happening now. I think that's why more people are talking about this being impactful.
If you walked up to somebody on the street and asked them about 9/11, they'd go, "Oh, Bush did 9/11." Oh.
Probably. There's probably a good chunk of people that would.
I don't disagree with that, but I think that that's you're making, yeah.
But I think the same amount of people that you do that to, you can walk up on the street and go, "Have you seen Leave the World Behind?" They go, "Nope."
Yeah.
See, I find that hard to believe, and the reason why is because of how much media attention it's gotten.
Yeah, I
And
don't
the
know how
fact-
huge it is or how
and
trending it is.
and
I
the
mean,
fact
it's
that it's
huge,
on
but-
Netflix and majority of people have Netflix.
Shane told me about it.
That's such a crazy statement.
Shane told me
Majority
about
of
it.
people in the United States have. I
didn't hear about it until you told me.
I was gonna
yeah,
say-
I don't. I think that you only knew about it because
2/5 of us prior to 2 hours ago had seen this movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's less than half.
right.
There's over 100 million people in America that have Netflix.
Okay. That
So
doesn't
it's-
mean everyone's watching it.
Yeah.
No, but they're hearing about it,
Sure.
so they're aware of
Maybe.
it.
Maybe.
I feel like that's a stretch.
So the news hasn't talked about it.
I have never seen John Wick. Shane, Evan talk about John Wick frequently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's a fun movie.
But I don't jump in the conversation and go, yeah, dude, it's a badass movie. It's probably one of the best acting movies because I haven't seen it. So why would I
Right.
be attesting to it? If I walk up to someone on the street and go, have you seen Leave the World Behind? They go, no, but I heard about it. It's supposed to be really impactful. That's the same statement.
I think
They're not saying, oh, well, it's this dystopian movie we need to focus on more than 9/11.
Yeah.
They haven't seen the movie, but
No,
they've heard about
I'm
it.
talking
I've
about-
heard about John Wick.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about people who have seen the movie.
Right, which I don't think is
Well, a lot
as
of people
large
that
of
are
a portion.
a
as
lot
So
of
you think.
is
people
it
that are
safe
gonna
to
be-
say that maybe half the people that have Netflix watched that movie, considering
less.
it's trending?
Yeah,
I'd
I'd
say
say
less.
less.
Well, a
You
lot
would
of
say
people that
less.
are
I'd say
watching
less.
this movie now, I feel like a lot of people that would be watching this movie would be a lot of younger people because they hear about it more through social media.
Yeah.
attention.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And a lot of those young people are, I mean, going back to the 9/11 thing, they're way desensitized to
Yeah.
9/11 because they weren't around for it.
Yeah.
That's
they,
the word
they,
I was looking
they
for.
joke
And,
about it
like-
all the time.
And like,
But
I'm
that's-
sorry. I'm
but
sorry
that's
to
my
Memes
point.
about it. If they were to see it in real life, would they have the same reaction?
Is-
Probably not, honestly, because they're so. Again, it's another desensitization kind
Yeah.
of thing. Maybe
Is your corner of the internet the same as your corner of the internet? The same as your corner of the internet?
no,
the
it's
same
all
as
personalized. Because
it's
of
all
algorithm.
personalized
Right.
and specific.
But you heard
specified
about-
to
Unless we
specifically you.
nonstop send stuff to
Yeah,
each other.
I was gonna
Unless
say
we-
they're
yeah.
pretty close.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean-
We've all seen each other's
Right.
searches.
Yeah.
But like what I'm saying is, it's been on traditional news, it's
Sure.
been on TV,
Mhm.
it's been on radio.
So it was
Okay.
9/11.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's
but it's
so
also
different
on
than
the
a-
internet and it's on Twitter.
little
dude.
different than a
So is,
movie and a
Aqu-
live
so is
event.
Aquaman 2.
That's a little different than a live event.
Have you seen
though.
Aquaman 2? Huge DC movie just came out. Aquaman 2. You know anything about it?
No.
Fuck no, you don't.
I'm sorry, when I turn on news radio, I don't hear about Aquaman 2.
I disagree. I think
But
you
you
can.
can.
I don't
I think you
disagree.
can make.
hang
the-
on. But
I think you
instead
can
for-
make the same argument for. Well, you hear this on the news, and you hear this on media, and you hear this on Twitter, and you hear this on. Yeah, bro. You go anywhere, you hear about every big movie that's coming out.
But that's not true.
No.
Disagree.
I see his side in the fact that sure you could turn on TAM or you could turn on Channel 539
Right.
and you could hear about this movie, or I could turn on Mix FM and I can turn on E News and they're going to be talking about Aquaman 2.
And they're
Yeah,
also
bro.
talking about Leave the World Behind.
I don't know about that, man.
You don't think E News is talking about a movie that
They
Julia
might.
I don't think
Roberts
E! News
came
has a
out of
channel
retirement for?
First
You're
of all,
making a
they
really
might
big
have.
argument, man.
Okay.
They
You're making
might
a really
have.
big argument.
I see your side, Jake. I do.
Like the
I
movie has some of the
understand
top actors, so right there it's going to be talked about in entertainment news.
E-
A former president's involved, so everybody's going to talk about this movie. Plus, Netflix wants to make money on the movie, so they're going to pump ads for it.
I think the fact that you're saying that this movie has a bigger societal impact than 9/11
I think on
is,
some people it did,
is-
and I
yeah,
think
some
that's
people-
ridiculous.
I think is blasphemous.
I think on younger generations that's right. Again,
Thank
because
you.
younger
That's-
people don't give a shit about 9/11.
that's what I'm saying.
But
and I think it is right
It's
now.
kind of right
in
now.
the
yeah.
grand scheme of
Right
things,
now.
I don't think, it is.
Yeah, I think right now, I think in the grand scheme of things, they won't be
Mhm.
thinking about Leave the World Behind next year, but they will be thinking about 9/11 next year.
Yeah.
It'll be exactly how we look at like 2012 or the day the Earth stood still or
Yeah.
something like that.
They don't
and
give a
going,
shit about that.
Oh shit, this happened. It's just like that one movie. Remember, we should have paid attention
or
to the day the
media
Earth
or
stood
something
still.
like that. Yeah.
Right.
it's-
And then we keep going about life. That
Right.
that will be this.
But we still watch 9/11, and we still feel we still feel for 9/11, and that is still something that impacts us as Americans.
Yeah.
I don't think that 2012 still impacts us as Americans.
Well, because nothing happened in 2012 that was
Yeah.
comparable.
Okay, you can make the same argument for nothing happened and Leave the World Behind.
Well, that's
You
a
guys
natural
just got done
disaster.
saying that it happened.
It's a natural
It-
disaster.
no,
and it
I
goes
say-
back to
I
it
the
say
same
sets
happen.
up for what is going to
It
happen.
Yeah.
feels like it could happen, and that's
I guess
what's
I guess
scary.
well, my point is that people are sitting here because, and I've seen people say the stuff online too, I'm not saying that everybody feels this way. I'm going based on what I've seen and what I have heard from people who have talked and spoken to me about the movie.
Right.
And when they're sitting there, they're going, "Oh my gosh, I just can't believe that, it looked like that." You can't because we saw it. We've seen those shots in real life.
See, that's an interesting point, though, because like I don't think my take of watching it was, "Oh, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe it looks like that." Mine was, "Oh no, this is scarily close to home."
See,
I've
heard people go, "Oh my gosh, I just couldn't believe that shot."
No.
See, now those are people that just aren't paying attention in general.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But, and I think it's safe to say we all can agree on this for the most part. There are a lot of people who don't pay attention in life.
Sure.
No, yeah, I agree. I think you worded it really good there, Jordan. It feels very close to home.
The preceding program is a StylesRebelRadio.com production.